And now, ladies and gentlemen, Tonto Mama is very proud to present Solly's Follies. Please welcome to the stage Simon Mulligan and Bill Solly.
Let's not be rational, let's be rash. Let's not have any bank account, let's have cash. When there is a party, why stay at home with the pets? Let's not say let's not get sensible, let's get sent. Where Browning and Elizabeth Barrett went. Who cares about caution and running up a few debts? Let's not say let's. Why hesitate so? It's easy, you know. Relax and let go, and oh, what comes next comes natural. Let's not make haste to part, let's make hay. This circumspect behavior is so passé. The chance of a lifetime is something everyone gets. They're saying place your bets. Sweetheart of mine, let's not say let's say let's. Give in to that yen, and then what comes next comes natural. Let's not act uppishly, let's act up. Forbidden fruits are ripe and it's time to sup. Why hazard a future with far too many regrets? Let's do a few duets. Sweetheart of mine, let's not say let's say let's. Yeah, let's. Thank you so much. Songs are my life. And I've been writing songs and listening to songs and singing songs for as long as I can remember. My father used to sing all the time, and my mother, and so we all sang, a whole bunch of us. I've got 5 younger siblings, and I used to look after them, and we used to sing all the time. Anyway, this section is called Miscellaneous Medley, and while we were growing up, I couldn't really keep it a secret that I was writing songs, because you can't write songs silently. So every now and then I'd be singing something like, wind in the trees, you sound like the yearning that I feel in my heart. Is this what it's like to be in love? Sad like the sound of wind in the trees, and yet exciting as well. I tremble just like the trees above. I used to have to hitchhike to town and back every day, 3 miles each way. And I'd be singing this, and they'd say, what's that you're singing? Oh, that's a song I wrote. Oh, it sounds terrible. Shut up. I never got any encouragement, whatever, from my family. None. So I didn't dare sing out loud. But then I got a bicycle. I learned how to ride it, and I could go so fast that it didn't matter if somebody heard me singing a storm, because I was past them already. They couldn't sneer at me. Oh my, what a perfect feeling, nonchalantly wheeling along on our way, my bike and I, on a sunny day. We fly down a road that's winding, fortunately finding wherever we go, my bike and I get a fond hello. Anyway, I never really had the guts to come out as a songwriter until I got to university. And then I was able to amuse the cool gals and the cool guys with the likes of, I'm an idiot, toot toot, I'm an idiot, toot toot, and I used to go on the silly, da da la da la da la la, and then the middle eight went, I'm dumb, I'm a bum, what's worse than I'm the scum of the earth in person. That used to get a lot of laughs. Actually, that's pretty good lyric writing. And then the other song that was popular was, the other night I was so hungry, I took me some cookies upstairs. You can say what you like about cookies, they can sure take your mind off your cares. Crumbs in my bed, crumbs in my bed, I'd sooner have you, but instead I just got crumbs in my bed. Anyway, that was fairly popular, and then after I left university, I became the editor of the Stony Creek News. Everybody was very impressed, including me. I was not impressed. It was a nowhere job. All you had to do is sell advertising. And I sang as I sat there, I've got my feet on the desk, got a frown on my face, got a deadline tonight, but there's nothing to write about this place. So I'm sitting and singing the Stony Creek News Blues. Anyway, I went to England. I finally got out of there and went to London. And I actually got a show on called Sweet William. I wrote the music, the lyrics, the book, I directed it, and I was in it. Anyway, the Stony Creek News Blues mutated into the Muse Blues, because the Muse was very popular back then, 55. The old stables behind the fancy houses was called a Muse. Then they became very chic places to live. And the heroine of the show sang a song called Muse Blues, and it was a big hit in the show anyway. As for whether the show was a hit or not, I couldn't tell you, because I never saw it. I was always backstage or on stage. Anyway, it was very frustrating. I went back to Canada, and I ended up hoping to get into showbiz, but no, I went back to typing for a living. And one of the jobs I had was at the Canadian Ice Machine in Toronto, and it was a frozen food place, you know, and the letters were in the lines of, we can't do this job unless you promise to feed your peas into our flume. But that sounded vaguely obscene to me. At the same time, you know, as a songwriter, who could resist? Won't you please feed your peas into my flume? Honey, my refrigerant needs a stimulant. My predicament isn't funny. You see, this may not be the day of my doom. If you'll please feed your peas into my flume. Flume, isn't that a wild word? Anyway, eventually I did get into show business as an actor and then as a writer, and I had shows on I had 7 shows in the West End of London over the years, and I did 2 off-Broadway shows, Boy Meets Boy and The Great American Backstage Musical. anyway, one thing always bothered me, and that was my father. Because I mean, I loved my father. He was a wonderful singer and so incredibly talented, although he had no education at all. But I never could quite figure out what he thought about my songs. But anyway, my mom and dad came to visit me in London, and there was a show of mine playing, a Christmas show, pantomime, that was still playing in July. And they went to see it, and they came with me, and we had wonderful house seats, and it was starring Danny LaRue, you know, and it was amazing. And I kept wondering why, and I suddenly thought my father really liked songs that were in three-quarter time, like Let the Rest of the World Go By, and Let Me Call You Sweetheart, and Always, Irving Berlin, and Meet Me Tonight in Dreamland, Beautiful Ohio. He was always singing these songs. And then it suddenly occurred to me that that's kind of why. The songs that I liked back in 1944, which was when I was 12 or 13, were Long Ago and Far Away from Cover Girl, you know, by Jerome Kern and Ira Gershwin, and Cole Porter's I Love You. Anyway, there we were at this Danny LaRue show, and the overture struck up, and they played some of the music I'd written, and my dad turned to the guy next to him, a total stranger, elbowed him and said, "My son wrote that." I mean, you wait your whole life for that kind of recognition, you know what I mean? And what were they playing? You guessed it, it was in three-quarter time. It was a song called It's a Waltz, Don't You See? That's what our lives together will be, bright and breezy for you and for me, just as easy as 1, 2, 3. It's a waltz, it's a breeze, it's the pull your hand strikes me at ease. It's a holiday through and through, full of music and magical charms, and wherever I go and whatever I do, holding you in my arms, it's a waltz. Oh, I got through it. That's wonderful. Now, speaking of England, His Lordship and I have been great friends for a long time now. We have a mutual friend, Dick Bosberg, who wrote Day in Hollywood, Night in Ukraine. And Dick always used to say, when you're going to visit Solly, the place is decorated in early song. And the other thing he used to say was, Bill says, pull up a song and sit down. Anyway, here's our little duet, Simon and I, His Lordship. When we're together, it's hands across the sea.
On the one hand, it's Simon.
On the other hand, it's me.
On the one hand, it's by Jove.
On the other hand, it's G.
That's what
We call compatibility. Oi! We go together like Bella goes with Luke.
on the one hand, it's a cuppa.
On the other hand, a Coke.
On the one hand, it's smashing.
On the other hand, it's oak. Pals and partners we're shaking hands across the sea. When we're together, it's hands across the sea. On the one hand, it's Solly.
On the other hand, it's me.
On the one hand, it's a drag man.
On the other hand, Torquay.
That's what we call compatibility. Oi! We go together, no matter what's in store. On one hand, it's drag man.
On the other hand, a bore.
On the one hand, it's crazy.
On the other hand, it's claw.
Transatlantically, though we're from lands across the sea, a bridge just stands across the sea. We're shaking hands across the sea. Anyway, this next number is a real chore for me because it was written for people who are much better singers than I when I was making a living in London. And this is actually a parody, as they say, new words for a famous melody. By the way, the melody is Holiday for Strings. Maybe some of you won't know it, and Simon could remind you. Sound familiar? Yeah. Okay. Now, if I can just get through this lyric. And holiday for strings today, and all the strings have gone away. Declared an unofficial strike to do exactly as they like, and all the violins I know are going to the seashore. I can bet you've never seen a cello in a bathing suit, or someone that is just as cute. A flock of second violins indulging in some violence. It's very odd, they're just like mods and rockers on the beaches at Brighton. Enough to frighten. One particularly saw Viola with a parasol. That one a lot of style she has. Might describe her as a little lady fiddle promenading with her favorite beau. Seaside fiddle faddle, peeping Tom skedaddle. Let those G-strings go for a paddle. As south end, I saw a harp descend into the watery mud. She said, though I'm not young, I'm highly strung. Sporty, piano forte, is being rather naughty as he meddles with his pedals. A guitar is spurting in a bar, but now she's gone too far. I hear she recommends a cadenza, plucking a pizzicato rhythm. And who's that plucking with them? Pon my life, it's Yasha Heifetz. It's a dancing with a ukulele and a zither. Suddenly I saw a man, he looked a lot like Madhavani, strumming on a lady lute while racing down the M1. But you can't imagine what an awful state the strings are in. They're really out of hand today. I know a sexy mandolin who's flying off to Mandalay to keep an assignation with a sort of oriental type banjo. And then there was the little piece of string who thought the time had come to tie a knot, but who he said will marry us. My girl's a Stradivarius, and I'm a wire, and I'm Sire, and I'm slightly out of tune.